unexpectedly. The protagonist fell to the ground, scared. In front of him, Ruchel put her hands on the ground, releasing an extremely evil and scary aura, showing that her berserk state had never been neutralized. Ban could see that the furnace inside her was burning feelings even more intensely. While trying to understand what was happening, a glow appeared around him. The room change started, and soon the duo found themselves back in a scenario like the one before. They weren't alone. Heavy footsteps caught their attention. In room 17, they found masked goblins, a tribe with countless members armed with clubs and axes. Upon seeing such monsters, Ruchel's loss of control increased, as did her fury. Worried, Ban frowned and held out his hand hastily to try to stop her, but before that, she charged fiercely. Upon seeing the beast woman attack, the goblins raised their weapons and advanced against her. Growling like a wild beast, Ruchel extended the claws that sprouted from her fingers and showed the fangs in her mouth. In front of Ban, the battle began, exploding in ferocity. Squeezing his fist in irritation, Ban punched the ground. He felt an immense sense of failure. He didn't know why, but he couldn't stop the furnace. Even having asked with a smile on his face for Ruchel to trust him without checking things properly first, he trusted too much in his own abilities with a completely careless mentality. Thinking about everything that had happened so far, Ban intensified his judgments against himself. Why didn't I think a little more? I judged and tried to deal with Ruchel's fight the way I wanted. Maybe I was just an arrogant fool. With a downcast look, Ban believed that nothing else mattered. Since Slight and Dako had already been eliminated, the expedition could be considered a failure. Ban lost the will to try to stop Ruchel. Being eliminated and sent back made more and more sense. In front of a goblin's bow and arrow, he didn't even move. The arrow was shot and he accepted his fate. However, another person hadn't accepted it. Unexpectedly, Ruchel jumped in front of Ban, taking the arrow for him. Seeing her between him and the goblins scared him. She pulled the arrow out and threw it on the ground, still prepared to continue fighting. Getting up and grinding her teeth, intimidating the goblins, she showed that she wouldn't give in. With all her instinct, Ruchel growled wildly, screaming at the top of her lungs and releasing all her feelings in the form of fury. Ban partially understood the feeling in her voice, the instinct of protection. While Ruchel advanced once again against the goblins, Ban recalled the words she had said to him with a smile before they climbed the tower. "I'm counting on you in there, Ban. I'll listen to everything you say. I trust you, Ban." Despite knowing that the expedition had already failed and that everything was already a mess, Ban took a potion from his inventory. Upon drinking it, he recovered 2 life points, 1 body point, 2 mystic energy points, and 1 charm point. With the natural healing speed increased by the potion, Ban stated decisively, "I won't let things end like this." Despite not having given up, he didn't see things getting better either. Ruchel continued to attack the goblins with all her energy. Despite needing to make her return to normal, Ban didn't know how to achieve that. Besides, recklessly messing with the furnace didn't seem to be the answer. Ban tried to imagine what Ruchel was like when she wasn't in berserk mode because of the furnace. She seemed more like a puppy, completely dependent. However, the Ruchel that Ban was seeing now seemed like a beast advancing toward her own end. It was then that Ban realized something in his own thoughts. Ruchel being a beast. Just because she's a beast, it doesn't mean she can't be tamed. Only those born purely wild were like that. But Ruchel wasn't. Ban clearly saw Ruchel's normal side as the human side. He tried to imagine why Ruchel didn't understand him. If she wasn't wild from the start, maybe there was something wrong with the approach he was taking to try to get close to her. Ban remembered a question. "Do you know the word submission, Ban?" The word said by Dako brought an understanding to Ban. At that moment, he had questioned whether submission was linked to governance, but that had not been the answer that Dako wanted. Dako had explained point by point what Ban didn't understand at that moment. From the perspective of someone who is governed, it may seem unpleasant, but some find safety in a strong leadership. In that sense, that beast seems to want someone to whom she can submit. Someone strong and dominant who controls her. Staring at Ban deep in his eyes, Dako had taught him how he should act. When she stops understanding your words, you must stop trying to talk gently to her. Ban hadn't believed Dako's instructions at that moment. However, now things seemed to make sense. He realized that Ruchel could still communicate, but that his method was being too weak. His voice wasn't able to reach her. It was then that he decided to follow the only path that could really reach her and make her stop fighting. Ruchel, still with all her fury, continued to advance against the goblins, oblivious to Ban's thoughts. At that moment, Ban jumped in front of her, blocking an attack by placing his sword in in front of his own body. He brandished the sword, making Ruchel recoil while he shouted, "Ruchel, that's enough!" The last goblin was confused to be saved by the human, who was trying to warn him. "Ruchel, this is the last goblin. If you defeat it, we'll be sent to the 18th floor. If that happens, we'll be eliminated quickly. So let's stop here. Let's heal ourselves and get ready first." Ruchel, although gritting her teeth, didn't advance immediately. Upon seeing the humans stopped, the last goblin attacked with its axe. However, Ban broke its movement, as well as its teeth, with a kick. Annoyed, Ban snarled at the goblin. "I'm dealing with a serious matter. Shut up for a second." Fleeing to a corner, the goblin cried like a rookie. When he looked at Ruchel again, the protagonist noticed her movement. Ruchel had gotten up and attacked again. Seeing that she refused to listen, only one alternative was left for Ban. Taking out a rope and wrapping it like a whip, he snarled with eyes that overflowed with irritation. "Since that's the way it is, I have no choice but to use this." Ban threw the rope up, making it spin. Ruchel was attracted by the rope, which Ban pulled fiercely in her direction. The rope ripped through the air like a whip. As soon as it hit the ground, creating waves of energy loaded with Ban's power, he shouted, making Ruchel recoil. "Back!" Ruchel roared furiously at the attack, while unexpectedly, the tone of her hair weakened slightly. However, she was still annoyed, and she saw Ban pick up a chair. With a cold look, he placed the chair on the ground. While grinding her teeth with fear of the chair, Ruchel ended up hearing Ban's command. "Ruchel, sit." Hitting and pointing to the chair, Ban ordered. The command made Ruchel scream even more furiously. However, she was screaming while sitting in the chair, obeying. Ban sighed as if he were in front of an idiot. Annoyed, he hit the ground with the rope, shouting, "Quiet!" Faced with the scream and the sound of the rope, Ruchel, with tears in her eyes, recoiled. Ban unexpectedly held out his hand to her and asked, "Ruchel, give me your paw." Despite grinding her teeth, this time in frustration, Ruchel held out her hand, placing it on Ban's. When she touched his hand, he realized that she had retracted her claws. This made him praise her. "Good girl! Very good!" Extending his other hand, Ban touched Ruchel's head, petting the girl, who replaced her eyes of fury with eyes of surprise. To Ban's surprise, a glow appeared in Ruchel's hair, making her return to normal quickly. Feeling Ban's head pat, Ruchel, now conscious, blushed completely while lowering her head. Upon seeing her speak once again, Ban, surprised, was relieved. "Ah, Ruchel, you're back. You finally came back to your senses." In the middle of his sentence, Ruchel got up quickly. Unexpectedly, she hugged Ban, whispering a vow. "You are the first, and you will be the only one in the world, my master." Ban felt a strong shock hit his body. The protagonist fell, with Ruchel falling into his lap, and wondered what had just happened. Immediately, a notification window appeared for him. The concept of submission has taken root. Ruchel has become a being governed, solely and exclusively by Ban. Upon reading that, Ban felt that everything seemed insane. Sometime later, Ruchel woke up again, now lying with her head on a pillow, while a shirt covered her. Ruchel got up hastily when she remembered what had happened, only to hear Ban's voice beside her, tying up the goblin. "Oh, you woke up, Ruchel." Tears of worry ran down Ruchel's face, who quickly approached Ban to check if he was hurt anywhere. To reassure her, Ban showed her how the elixir had worked. He explained that he made her drink the potion while she was unconscious to heal her wounds. The goblin, ignored, heard the beast that had decimated his species state that she didn't feel pain anywhere. However, despite not feeling pain, Ruchel felt bad. "You saved me again, Ban. I ended up being a bother to you again." Ban put his hand on Ruchel's head once again, petting her while he asked her not to worry. Looking at her in a welcoming way, he remembered, "I promised I would do everything I could. I'm sorry for being late. I didn't understand the messages you were sending me properly. If I had noticed a little earlier, we would have solved the problem more quickly." Ruchel removed Ban's hand from her head and held it. While guiding his hand to her own cheek, she showed a gentle smile and, with her eyes closed, whispered with affection, "It's okay. I'm grateful that you didn't forget and kept that promise in mind. Thank you for stopping me, Ban. No, thank you for stopping me, Master." Ban was shocked to hear Ruchel's words and blushed intensely. He quickly tried to correct her. "That's not right, this master thing." However, as if she didn't care about anything else besides the love for her master, Ruchel contradicted him. "What's wrong with calling my master master?" Ban put his hands to his head. There was a big problem in that situation. They were classmates. She couldn't say things that sounded like master and servant so openly. He tried to imagine what his family would do if they found out that a girl his age called him master. He would definitely be hung upside down and punished. The family's disapproval was imminent. Oblivious to Ban's thoughts, Ruchel asked if her master was okay. Stammering, he asked to talk after a break, but ended up screaming when he saw her try to snuggle up to him. In the end, Ruchel managed to stay with her arms crossed with Ban, and there she told her story. I was born as a half-beast, but I am different from the other half-beasts. My ancestors were great, and my father was a bearer of a contract with a constellation. Ruchel revealed that her father regretted having made that contract, but the constellation had no intention of letting go of the family that carried the blood of the great beasts in their veins, passing a kind of curse through it. She said that the curse made her body burn emotions to gain power, but also caused her to be governed by those same emotions. Since childhood, whenever her feral instincts awakened, the curse burned emotions as fuel, spreading fury throughout her being. As she inherited the clan's heritage, few people could stop her, and as people were constantly getting hurt because of her, Ruchel lived suppressing her instincts and